really impressive class of bulls here, and quality really runs from one end to the other. And got a pair of calves on the top of this class that I think are really similar in type and kind. They're both expansive middle calves. They're real deep right in through that heart, right back in through that flank. They're good hipped calves. They're sound, they're good headed, they got some muscularity to them, real strong in through that forearm. The calf that leads the class for me is just, he does all that with a little extra. He's a little bigger bodied, he's a little higher performance type of a calf, a little longer bodied, just really like his look compared with all that mass in behind him, and he gets out and he's fluid in through his hock. This second place calf follows him really well in type and kind, just not quite as expansive in through that middle or quite as long-sided. The really interesting calf for me here is in number 3 here. He's the most muscular calf in the class, huge rib eye on him when you get over him, real muscular down in through that lower quarter, great in the forearm. Beauty headed on this individual. He's got the right kind of Angus head. He's clean neck, but he's got some masculinity to him. He's just maybe not quite as flexible on his pasterns here today, which is, just anything can happen and what have you, but a calf that I think is one to follow down the road. He's really intriguing. Then we get into a real big, deep-sided, soggy individual, and I really like that about him. He just flattens out a little bit in his muscle pattern and muscularity to get a little bit higher today with 3 individuals that are in front of him, but a real deep, soggy, right kind type of calf. Then we get into the next calf. He's long-sided, he's real attractive, just giving up that overall mass and power and volume to get a little higher today, but really a strong set of bull calves here.
Thank you, Dennis. So leading off the class is entry number 2126, Boss Lake the Kraken, 119J from Boss Lake Genetics and First Class Marketing. Second in class is 2133, Merritt Churchill, 1110J, shown by Merritt Cattle Company. Third in class is 2117, Bariel 0807, Crymont Show, 108J from Bariel Angus. Fourth in class is entry number 2123, Merritt McGraw, 1052J, shown by Merritt Cattle Company. And fifth in class is entry number 2119, Double T Knockout 55J from Double D Cattle Company. Entry number 2116 was a scratch in this class. So we're now moving into our second split of intermediate bull calves. These calves were born from February the 8th to February the 2nd of 2021.
One evening as
go, Walter.
the sun went down,
After you.
the jungle fire was burning. Down the track came
Get him,
a right. Said, boys, I'm not turning. I'm headed for a land that's far away.
It's a multi-flex tailgate. It can be a step, it can even become a workspace.
Admit the cat.
What's so great about him? He didn't have a workspace.
The Chevy Silverado with the available multi-flex tailgate. Find new adventures, find new roads. Chevrolet.
Think premium can't be capable? Think again. Introducing the first ever AT4 lineup. Premium and capable. That's professional grade from GMC.
to your tracks, love. I wish that I am your last love. The dream comes to me like a memory, and I rise above, and I rise above once again.
There was a hazy day downtown L.A. where I met her on an elevator on its way up to the hotel room of my fiancée.
Ladies and gentlemen, just back to the show ring here on the Red Angus side of the show ring. We are about to start our National Red Angus Show here at the 50th anniversary Exhibition. We are going to start our classes fairly quickly with our first split of our 21 born heifer calves. At this point, we'd like to welcome our judge here today, Mr. Jeff Flesh from Montana. Jeff is a fourth generation on his family's farm and ranch located north of Shelby, Montana. Along with his wife Nana, they raise registered Black Angus cattle and a small herd of children, Presley, Jagger, and Lennon. Jeff attended Colorado State University and received a degree in animal science. During his college, Jeff worked for Willie and Sharon Altenberg, and Willie had a huge influence on Jeff in the cattle industry. After graduating, Jeff worked for Genetic West, managing donor cattle and show cattle for a mentor and friend, Dr. Tom Ray. Jeff and Nana moved home from Colorado 15 years ago to help on the family operation. Flesh Angus exhibits cattle at the National Western Stock Show and has also brought cattle to Agribition in past years. Jeff's grandfather Lester bought the ranch's first registered Angus cows from Canada in 1963, and his father continued the herd till Jeff rejoined the operation. We'd like to welcome Mr. Jeff Flesh today here to appraise our Red Angus at the National Red Angus Show at Agribition.
To a mountain, follow a bird up there, 'cause I found me a woman who treated me unfair, and I woke to the sunrise, remembered an awful dream of lightning and thunder, and hearing someone scream. Trouble finds you in worry, sticks around until you're dead. Once you found a little darling, and she takes over your head. And I see when it was blowing, I had to find me a hole for to climb in and live forevermore. And I heard voices calling in my delirious state, saying something out in Spanish. That's when I went insane. Trouble finds you in worry.
This bull calf deal just gets stronger and stronger as these calves come out and they start to tighten up in age, and I mean the quality here is crazy deep when we get down in through these classes. And we got a pair of bulls on the top here. They've got some slight differences to them when you analyze their chest floor, but I mean two bulls that are big explosive hip bulls. They've got lots of lower quarter in them. They're wide based individuals, and both really big deep ribbed individuals. This first place bull, he just pulls in that chest. He's a little better in through that chest floor, really great in through that heart girth, and gives you a great look from the side. And you get behind him and he's really explosive in through that hip and muscle. I think a calf that really comes to that top really well, and a nice sheathed individual. This is a big powerhouse bull in second. I mean, huge center body. body. He's long-sided, big-hipped, explosive in through that lower quarter. A bull that's flexible out on the move. He's good at the ground. You know, he's just not quite as tidy in through that chest floor, and just a nichel underneath him, you tighten him up just a hair. But boy, that is one explosive performance pack powerhouse. Our third place bull is a lot like our second place bull. Big, deep ribbed, good hip kind of an individual, just not quite the hip in him that our second place bull has. But I mean, this quality is running really, really deep. Get into our fourth place bull, he really patterns the same as these bulls ahead of him. Big, massive rib, big hipped individual, good big foot on him. He'll get a little bit coarser in through that shoulder, coarser in through that head than some of these Angus bulls above them, but a real powerhouse individual. Then we get into a group of three bulls. They're real attractive in their design. They're good deep body type of calves, but just not quite the hip and muscle and power and explosiveness when you get in behind them that the calves above them do. But just a tremendous class of bull calves right from one end to the other.
Thank you, Dennis. So leading off our class is entry number 2122, Merit Incredible 1020J, shown by Merit Cattle Company. Second in class is 2118, Wyber Creek Trending Now 121, shown by Wyber Creek Angus. Third in class, entry number 2124, HF Showman 226J, shown by Hamilton Farms. Fourth in class, entry number 2114, PF TJL Jimmy RLP 14J, shown by Pyshal Farms. Fifth in class, entry number 2111, Merit Mr. Wilson 1046J, shown by Merit Cattle Company. Sixth in class is entry number 2120, Merit 211021J, shown by Merit Cattle Company. And seventh is 2143, Northern View Super Duty 125J, shown by Northern View Angus. We'll now be moving into our intermediate bull calf division champion. Our intermediate champion is sponsored by Belbin Angus, and our reserve is sponsored by Glen Gable Angus. So returning from the first split, we'll have entry number 2126, Boss Lake the Kraken 119J from Boss Lake Genetics and First Class Marketing, and entry number 2133, Merritt Churchill 1110J from Merritt Cattle Company. And from our second split, we'll have entry number 2122, Merritt Incredible 1020J from Merritt Cattle Company, and entry number 2118, Wyber Creek Trending Now 121 from Wyber Creek Angus.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for having me up here today. Thank the Saskatchewan Angus Association and the breeders for selecting me. What an opportunity. Outstanding set of heifer calves this first go. At any indication the show will be as stout as this, we're off to a heck of a start. Really nice, refined, soft-bodied, elegant-fronted female to start the class with. I love her from the side profile. She gets out, she moves. She's got some body, ties together from her shoulder into her neck really well. Got enough extension up front. Just got the look of a real nice cow. Heifer in second here, a lot the same, I think. Probably square and maybe a little more muscle in this heifer. Really long spined. She just gets maybe a little bolder out through her front end, maybe not quite as feminine up through that front third, but that's pretty particular on a real nice heifer calf here that's got a lot of stoutness and a lot of performance in that heifer. The heifer in third really kind of gave me a fit. She was either going to be first or third, and I guess today I just wanted to maybe hold her top together just a little better from her shoulder back into her rib, but just a super powerful heifer. I love her bone. She gets out and moves well. She's got a little more performance, which I like. I just kind of want her to fit together a little better today. Heifer that really gets out. Maybe could take a little longer stride on that hind wheel, but a heifer that I really appreciate. Then the heifer in fourth, also another heifer that really kind of had the same look maybe as the first two heifers. I'd like to maybe just soften her down in her flank a little bit. A heifer that holds her top together really well on the move. She maybe could soften up in her pasturing just a little bit, maybe move out a tick better today. But I know how it is for these cattle, these calves that have been on the concrete all week. It's tough on them. But a heifer, I sure appreciate the body and the length. I just like to maybe soften her up just a little bit. This heifer down here, another outstanding female, I think from a production cow standpoint, maybe one that'll probably, you know, just kind of be the producer. You get behind her, you'd like to maybe stouten her up in that lower third a little bit, but a heifer, when you see her on the profile, you really appreciate the body and the underneath, and I mean, holds herself together really well, got a real nice chest floor in her, very feminine, real nice heifer. Heifer that rounds the class out, another exceptional Red Angus female for this young lady. I just maybe like to kind of prettier her up just a little bit. Maybe she got maybe a little too much throat, extend her through that front end a little bit, but an awful nice female. Outstanding set of Red Angus to start the show with.
Really good set of bull calves over into this Angus in the black side on the division. We've got some really explosive quartered bulls here. They're big top, they're big ended. They're bulls that are great in their chest floor. They got some internal dimension to them. They're good footed, good striding individuals, and really, really good Angus headed. You know, I mean, I think just 4 really, really outstanding bulls. I'm going to go select a couple that really work for me today, but this is a really, really powerful division here.
So our champion intermediate bull goes entry number 2122, Merit Incredible 1020J from Merit Cattle Company, and our reserve goes entry number 2126, Boss Lake the Kraken 119J from Boss Lake Genetics and First Class Marketing.
For our first class of Red Angus females this afternoon, first place goes to the 2206 Red 6 Mile Fredo 687J from 6 Mile Ranch, Fir Mountain. Second place goes to 2214 Red Double B or Cabot 124 from Double B Angus McLean. Third, 2210 Red Blair's Yankee from Blair's Ag and Cattle Company at Lanigan. Fourth, 2216 Red SVR Ruby 94J from Southview Ranch at Ceylon. Fifth goes to 2208 Red Blair's Jesse 157J from Blair's Ag Cattle at Lanigan. And sixth place is entry 2215 Red SVR Christie 57J from Southview Ranch at Ceylon. This is our second class in the ring of our junior division in the Red Angus Show.
Over in our block show, we're moving into our first of 3 splits in our senior bull calf division. So our first class will have calves born from January the 28th to January the 24th of 2021.
Once again, for some of the sponsors of today's shows, Labatt, Budweiser is proud to support the Canadian agriculture industry and is committed to working with farmers across the country for years to come. The Atlas Hotel is Regina's fiercely independent, locally owned, full-service hotel with 200 guest rooms, a pub, restaurant, water park, and oodles of event space. There's something for everyone at the Atlas. Labatt's. The Saskatchewan Ministry of Agriculture is one of the major sponsors here at Canadian Western Agribition. Services provided by the Ministry of Agriculture available in the office, online, and right in the field to ensure that farmers, ranchers, and industry have access to research, production, and business information, risk management tools, and ministry services. A team of extension specialists offer advice and support to all types of livestock, crops, forage, and value-added processing businesses. They are here to help access the programs, information, and services you need. Visit their booth at number 115 in the ITC, right out behind the show ring here to connect with their specialists.
Over on the Red Angus side, I think just the most fault-free female to start the class with. I really like her femininity. I like her body shape. She's sure not the stoutest heifer in the class. I think she's the best moving heifer in the class, a heifer that gets out, takes a nice stride. I just think has all the right parts and pieces. I love her body. I think she's the greenest heifer. I appreciate that about her. And I just think a real nice heifer to start the class. Second place heifer, and you look at her profile, you really appreciate the length, the shape, the extra muscle that she has in her. It just, when you get her on the move, for me, I just like to free her up a little on her hind wheels. She wants just to get outside of herself a little bit. But a heifer, you appreciate the neck and the body and the kind of real neat, kind of different look she gives you. Love the shape down her top. Like I said, if I could just make her a little more free moving today, she can be, kind of be in the hunt with the heifer above her. The third place heifer is a heifer I like from just a real nice, feminine. I'd like to maybe change the point of her shoulder a little bit, maybe extend her out of that front end a little bit, but a heifer I like in terms of body, design. I just maybe like to kind of change the angle of that front shoulder just a little bit, get her maybe moving out of that front end, just take a little longer stride and maybe move up a little higher. Heifer in fourth here, another real nice heifer that's got a lot of shape. Kind of matches the heifer, I think, in second. She just wants to get outside herself when she gets away from you. I'd like to just make her a little sounder to move her up in class today.
So in our second class of Red Angus females, first goes to entry 2205, Red 6 Mile Miss Minerva 667J from 6 Mile Ranch at Fir Mountain in Karsten Grappler. Second place entry 2212, Red Double B Priscilla 121 from Double B Angus at McLean. Third goes to entry 2207, Red Blair's Jesse 128J from Blair's.Ag Cattle Company Lanigan. And fourth is 2213, Red Double B Alice 118 from Double B Angus at McLean. Now coming into the ring will be our first and second places from the two previous classes for our junior heifer calf championship.
Real interesting class of Angus bull calves here with a little bit more type and kind when you get into this class, and led off the class with two individuals that are really similar as far as type in through their hip. They're explosive top bulls. They've got lots of quarter in them. They're explosive when you get in behind them as far as terms of their width, the base. They're big-bodied individuals. Went with the calf that's just a little bit better in through his chest floor. He gives you a really good look and up-headed. Yet he's still got a great degree of masculinity to him and just a really good, complete type of a package. Then we get into a real powerhouse here in next. I mean, he's big, huge middled. He's a burly built rascal, big hipped, explosive in through his lower quarter, big scrotal individual. You just pull his chest floor in just a touch. Then a real attractive calf. This calf in third, I mean, when he comes out, he really grabs your attention. He's great in through his chest floor, really gives you a good look. He's long spined, he's deep sided. He'll just tend to come in his heart just a touch and get a little roach over his top when you'll get him on the stand here. But a calf that you really got to admire a lot of things about him and has a tremendous amount of future in him. Then we get into two calves that they're good, explosive type of Angus bulls. They're just lacking a little bit of them niceties of you straighten them out a little bit, give them a little bit of a stronger top, make them a little more explosive and wider based when you get in behind them. But again, two quality individuals to round out the class.
Thank you, Dennis. So leading off the class is entry number 3257, HF Showcase 176J from Hamilton Farms. Second in class is entry number 2153, Compass Mr. Tibbs 11J, sold by Michelson Land to Cattle and Madison Sibbald. Third in class is entry number 2147, Justamere 278F, The Shade 347J from Justamere Farms Limited and Gower Family Angus. Fourth in class is 2127, S7R HLCC Acclaim 797J from Horner Cattle Company and Section 7 Ranch. And fifth in class is entry number 2131, Triple L Road Warrior 205H, shown by Triple L Angus Viscount. So our second split will now be entering the ring, and these cows were born from January the 17th to January the 10th of 2021.
Over here in the Red Angus division, two really nice heifers. I mean, yeah, there's some differences in the two. I like the stoutness and the shape of this heifer. I think the heifer comes out of the second class. Maybe is a little more relaxed in her top, and maybe she moves just a tick better today for me. But I love the body and I love the shape, and I think we're going to go with that heifer first, and the reserve will be the heifer behind her. Both the class winners.
So our junior calf division champion, sponsored by ABC Cattle Company and Baker's Angus of Whitewood, goes to entry 2206. Red 6 Mile Fredo 687J from 6 Mile Ranch, Fir Mountain, and Cheyenne Vogue. And reserve junior heifer calf division Red Angus goes to entry 2205. Red 6 Mile Minerva 667J from 6 Mile Ranch at Fir Mountain and Carson Rabler. Once again, the sponsor for the Reserve Junior Calf Award is sponsored by Raz Red Angus from Owoda. So next in the ring is our intermediate calf division. We have one class in the intermediate class division.
I'd just like to acknowledge a couple more of our sponsors here today. FCC. Our thanks go out to Platinum sponsor FCC. The only lender 100% invested in Canadian agriculture. FCC helps to make the most of the opportunities with financing and knowledge designed for Canadian ag industry. And also Sask Milk. Saskatchewan dairy farmers are proud to provide high quality, delicious milk from our family farms and to support the local communities through events and sponsorship. We'll now have our Canadian Angus President, Mr. Sheldon Kyle, make a few awards here.
Every year, the Saskatchewan Angus Association presents awards to members that have been outstanding service for their years through our association. It's an award called the Honorary President, and acting as a Canadian Angus President, I'd like to present two awards today. Normally we present these awards at our annual general meeting, but the last few years we haven't been able to get together. The first award I'd like to present is in memory of Colin Sauter to Michelle and Hillary. And the second honorary president we'd like to recognize today is Keith Kaufman and his family of Southview Ranch down at Ceylon.
Real interesting class of Angus bull calves over on the black side, and I think a calf that comes to the top of this class pretty handily for me. He's maybe one of the most fluid and flexible bull calves we've seen yet here today. I mean, this guy really gets out and trucks and moves. Real good chested. He's a big top calf. You know, ample quarter when you get in behind him, and he's got a great hip in him. Real clean in his underline. I think a calf that extremely sound, extremely big bodied, and just a really, really well built, complete individual. Get into the calf next that follows him the most in type and kind. A little more lower quarter in this calf, big top, just not quite as good chested and as good in through that heart girth or as flexible as this calf when you get out. Then you get into a real powerhouse performance type of a calf that's really big middle, long-sided, long-hipped, just not quite as good in that heart girth as these two calves above him, but a real performance individual. Then we get into the calf that's real intriguing in the class. That fourth place bull is super, super attractive. I mean, he's good looking, great chested, really long-sided, great hipped, gets out and moves really well. I would just like to really soften him up and give him a little more lower third just to get a little bit higher today, but I mean one with a ton of future with him, how good looking he is. Then we get into a pair of calves that you're just a little bit more performance to get a little bit higher today, but a great solid set of Angus bull calves over in this division.
Thank you, Dennis. So leading off the class is entry number 2139, HLC CSI Private Stock 879J from Hollinger Land and Cattle and CSI Angus. Second in class is entry number 2141, Northern View Chattaching 98J from Northern View Angus. Third in class is 2128, Whiskey Lane Jack Daniels 20J from Whiskey Lane Livestock. Fourth in class is entry number 2140, HLC Outsider 854J from Hollinger Land and Cattle. Fifth in class is entry number 2144, OAV President Jailbird 5J from Lakeland College. And sixth in class is 2145, OAV Uncut Juggernaut 9J from Lakeland College. We'll now move into our third and final split in our senior bull calf division. And these calves were born from January the 7th to January the 1st of 2021.
Over on the Red Angus side, I think the heifer we start the class with, I think, in my opinion, she handles it quite nicely. She's just a heifer that's so refined, and she's got such a nice body to her. She's green in her condition. She really moves out well. She holds her top together well. She comes out from that shoulder up into that neck. She ties together really nice in through there. I just think a heifer that's got a lot of future in the show ring. And as a cow as well, she just looks like a cow. You know, she's got the femininity, the angles are right, the hip is right, gets out and moves well. Just a heifer that's awful hard to, just to find a hole in her. The heifer in second, I think, closely resembles her in the type of body. She has probably more body, more mass. I just like to clean her up and extend her just a tick more through that front end. She's got cow power written all over her. I like her angles. I like everything about her. Like I said, just to move up any higher, she needs to be just a tick more refined through that front end. But a heifer that's got a lot of future is a great breeding piece and cow. The heifer in third, awful nice female. She's got probably more length and more shape up over her top than the other two heifers. I just kind of like to change her angle in her front shoulder a little bit, make her move out of that front end just a little longer. But a heifer, you sure appreciate the shape and the length of body. I just kind of like to change the angle in that front shoulder a little bit to move her up any higher. Heifer in third here, awful nice heifer, big-bodied heifer. This one just has all the right parts and pieces too. Maybe not as refined as the first two heifers in class. Arguably could have been switched with a third heifer in class. A heifer that just gets out and moves, just does a really good job. I just like to just prettier her up just a little bit for the show ring deal. Maybe give her a little more base width when she gets away from you. The next two heifers in class, nice heifers. I just like to extend them out a little bit. The heifer down here, I'd like to. She wants to get a little tight on her pasterns. Like to make her just stride out a little better to compete with the other heifers in class. But heifers in terms of performance and length and shape, awful nice representation of the Red Angus breed.
So in our intermediate class in the Red Angus show, this will also be your intermediate class champion. Is entry 22-21. Red 6 Mile Betnal from 6 Mile Ranch and Heather LeBlanc. Second place goes to entry 22-20. Red 6 Mile Fredo 344J from 6 Mile Ranch and Harvey Crest Cattle. Third is entry 22-19. Red Wilbar Blockana from Wilbar Cattle Company Dundurn, also owned Owen Wilms. Fourth place is entry 22-18. Red Shiloh Karuba 108J from Shiloh Cattle Company, Craigmile, Alberta. Fifth place is entry 22-17. Red Pyro Regina from Pyro Red Angus at Stettler, Alberta. And sixth place, 22-22, Red Wrights 165E Diamond 21J from Wright Cattle Company at Meadow Lake. Once again, 22-21 Red 6 Mile Battle. 444J is your intermediate champion. This award is sponsored by Anderson Cattle Company, Swan River, Manitoba. And the reserve intermediate champion is 22-20 Red 6 Mile Miss Fredo 344J. The sponsor for that award is Twin Heritage Farms, Sheeho, Saskatchewan. Our Red Angus class in the ring now is our first split of two for our senior division Red Angus 2021 born calves. This is our first split of our senior division Red Angus heifers.
Real powerful performance group of bull calves when we get into this split, and started off the class with a real soggy, deep-sided individual. He's not as long-sided as our calf in second, but man, that center body right from that hard girth down in through that flank, I just love that softness in that lower third. He's a good-headed bull, got some masculinity there. Great hip, great lower quartered, and he gets by this second place calf. He's got a little more flexible into them pasterns when this calf gets on the move, and you really have to admire that about him. The real long-sided, big-topped, muscular calf is this one in second. You know, I mean, he's really appealing from that standpoint. Not quite the lower third in him. You'd soften him up just a touch and have him a little bit more flexible on that pastern, but a real long, muscular individual. Third place bull, really long-sided, square-hipped, big, deep-ribbed, burly type of a calf. Just not quite the muscularity in through that lower quarter that these two calves above him have, but he really fits in there nicely from a standpoint of completeness. Then our fourth place calf, he really mirrors our second place calf a lot. Long-spined, big explosive hip, lots of muscularity down in through that lower quarter. I just soften him up a little bit in through that lower third just to get a little bit higher today. Then we get to three calves that are deep-sided, sound-made type individuals, just not that explosive muscularity and hip in them that some of the calves above them have, but a real high-quality class out here in this split.
Thank you, Dennis. So leading off the class, entry number 2146. Justamere LM 7112 Yager 314J from Justamere Farms. Second in class is entry number 2134. HF Roper 17J from Hamilton Farms. Third in class is 2130. Cubby Hill Stinger 3J from Ranch Cubby Hill. Fourth in class is entry number 2151. Ramrod Rip 110J from Ramrod Cattle Company. Fifth in class is 2132. Remitol F Rapid Fire 3J from Remitol Farms. Sixth is 2129. Whiskey Lane Jigs 6J from Whiskey Lane Livestock. And seventh in class is 2142. Northern View Rumble 83J from Northern View Angus. We will now be moving into our senior bull calf division. I'd like to thank our sponsors. Our champion award and banner is sponsored by Blue Collar Bull Sale, and our reserve is sponsored by Hilo Angus. So returning from the first split, we will have entry number 3257, HF Showcase 176J from Hamilton Farms, and entry number 2153, Compass Mr. Tibbs 11J from Mitchelson Land and Cattle and Madison Civil. Out of our second split, we have entry number 2139, HLC CSI Private Stock 879J from Hollinger Land and Cattle and CSI Angus, as well as entry number 2141, Northern View Chattaching 98J from Northern View Angus. And all of our third split, we'll have entry number 2146, Justimere LM 7112 Yager 314J from Justimere Farms, and entry number 2134, HF Roper 17J from Hamilton Farms.
Over here on the red side, kind of a, there's sure some differences in this class. A lot of good heifers from the top to the bottom. The heifer we're going to start with is by far the big performance heifer of the class. I love her body. She's big boned. She gets out and she moves well. Yeah, there's a few things I'd like to change about her. I mean, I'd like to maybe flatten that shoulder down. She maybe gets a little round at the top part of her shoulder, but she's sure a heifer that you appreciate the body and the performance and the look that she gives you from the side. I just think it was just a heifer to me that kind of came to the top of the class. The heifer that most resembled her, I thought, was this heifer in second place. I mean, there's a few things I would like to stouten her up over her hip, maybe drop her down just a little bit in her flank, but a heifer that gets out and moves. I like the length. I like the shape up over her top. She's got some hip. Just maybe more closely resembled my first place heifer. The heifer here in third place kind of, here's probably the show heifer out of the group. She's super flat shouldered. She ties really nice from her shoulder into her neck. I just love that about her. I just need a little more. I just like a little more flank. I'd like a little more body to move her up any higher today. Arguably, she's maybe the greenest heifer in class. She really could come back as a bred next year and, really kind of knock your eyeballs out. She's got all the right parts and pieces. She gets out, she moves, she's level topped. I just want a little more heifer today. The heifer in fourth place, awful nice kind of maternal look to her. She maybe has a little too much set to her hock for me today. Maybe is the lightest muscled heifer in the class, but a heifer that gives you a real nice profile from the side. She's level and nice hip. I think just a real nice production type female.
So first in class is 2231, red CL Steen Firefly 195J from Lane Steen and Dundurn. Second, 2230, red Shiloh Rosette 55J from Shiloh Cattle Company, Craig Mile, Alberta. Third place, 2229, red Triple L Roxy 205H from Triple L Angus and Viscount. And fourth place is 2235, red TNS Blue Blood Lady 75J from TNS Farms at Rose Valley. Next in will be your second split in our senior division.
Really a powerful group of bull calves over here in the black side. We've got calves that are all good-headed. They're burly, explosive, muscled individuals. They're bulls that are sound and flexible in their movement. They're great in that center body. They've got some softness through that lower third and good testicle-footed individuals. And I think a great way to end these calf divisions. And I'm going to go select a couple that I think are really, really, from a structural standpoint and how these calves get out and move and their flexibility, I think really come to the top for me in this division. But I think a really outstanding group of 6 bull calves here that it'll be really interesting following these bull calves down the road and how they mature.
And our senior bull calf goes to entry number 2139, HLC CSI Private Stock 879J from Hollinger Land and Cattle and CSI Angus. And our reserve goes to entry number 2146, Justimere LM 7112 Yager 314J from Justimere Farms at Lloydminster.
When he tried to make me pay the rent, said I ain't got no money for you, can I pay my way with these dancing shoes? Thought I was kidding. Brother, what you owe me, I can't count on anymore, till the police come and knocking on our door. Sometime in a backwoods town, ain't nothing to do 'cause there ain't nothing around. Every sheriff ran around the block, but the streets were empty and the doors were
Over here in our Black Angus Show, we are now moving into our first of two splits in our yearling bull division. So this class will have bulls coming at you born from April the 4th to February the 1st of 2020.
away with these dancing shoes. Thought I was kidding. I was not. Father, Father, what you owe me, I can't count on anymore. Till the angels come and knocking on our door. We'll be burning down the house, tear it to the ground, burn it all, tear it down, burning down the house. The world outside is mad and cold. You don't grow up, you just grow old. Soon it's over, so they say. But God Almighty, till that day. We'll be
Over on the Red Angus side, an extremely powerful set of heifer calves to start this class off with. This first heifer to me, she just does it with ease, I guess. I love her angles, I love her neck, I love her body. She just doesn't give you a bad look. She holds her top together. She's as level when she's on the profile or when she's on the move. She just doesn't give you a bad look. A heifer that ties together really nice from that front shoulder into her neck. She's got plenty of body, gets out and moves really well. I just like her freshness about her. The heifer in second, maybe not quite the extension up front. Granted, she's probably got more body, maybe a little more shape. She doesn't, she just kind of doesn't want to be as fluid as the heifer in front of her today. A heifer that's got a tremendous amount of performance and look. I just think today I like the freshness. I like the flatter shouldered, longer extended heifer that wins the class. Next two heifers, two super stout heifers here. Big, powerful Red Angus cattle that got performance and type written all over them. I think females are going to make outstanding females. I just like to kind of, for this show ring status, I'd like to just kind of extend them out through that front end a little bit. I'd like to make this heifer just a little stronger through her hip. She wants to maybe get underneath herself a little when she gets on the move. This powerful heifer here, this red heifer, you just sure got to appreciate the body and the rib shape and the dimension that she offers. And the same with the fourth place heifer. I just like to free her up a little in her joints, let her track just a little better to move up any higher. And then once again, the heifer that rounds the class out, one that you get from a profile, you sure like her. She maybe wants to get underneath herself a little bit, maybe doesn't have quite the base width the heifers do above her, but a heifer that this young lady should be awful proud of and sure appreciate her bringing into the CWA.
So first place in our second split of our senior division of Red Angus heifers goes to entry 22-32 Red 6 Mile B-Car Miss Hammy 260J from 6 Mile Ranch and Fir Mountain and Eric Smith. Second place goes to entry 22-34 Red Tehran Lauren 40J from Tehran Farms, Forestburg, Alberta. Third place 22-38 Red Ellison Carly 28J from T-Bar-K Ranch, Wawota. Fourth place goes to entry 22-28 Red Pyro Karuba 143J from Pyro Red Angus and Stetler. Fifth place is entry 22-36 Red TNS Hart 57J from TNS Farms at Rose Valley. Coming back in the ring now, our first and second places from our previous two classes. This will be for our Senior Division Championship Award. Our Senior Division calf is sponsored by Southview Ranch at Ceylon, Saskatchewan, and the Reserve Senior Heifer calf is sponsored by Honeybrook Farms at Edom.
over here for division in this Red Angus deal. The pair of heifers that came out of the last class, they're just they're too tough to split apart. So your grand will be this young gentleman, and reserve will be the young lady there with their heifer calves. Outstanding division.
So our senior division heifer calf champion goes to entry 2232 red 6 mile Bikar Miss Hammy 260J from 6 Mile Ranch and Eric Smith. And coming out of the same class is entry 2234 red Turon Lauren 40J from Turon Farms, Forestburg, Alberta. Once again, these are our senior division heifer calf champions. Entry 2232 red 6 mile Bikar Miss Hammy, and reserve senior heifer calf is 2234 red Turon Laura.
Well, we'll go ahead and use the mic here. I see a big bull class over there that they're sorting. Awful nice yearling heifer here that sure could stand some competition. Super nice shouldered, nice neck, big bodied kind of female that really represents the breed very well, I think. Just got female written all over. I love her condition. I love her type. A moderate female that gets out and moves and just put together very well. It's sure a heifer that could sure stand some competition.
So just clarification on this. This is a split class, or class 7. There's a 7 and a 7A. For the junior division of our yearling heifers, entry 2244, red SVR Ruby 46H from 6 Mile Ranch, and also Peyton and Sterling Chrisman. Once again, this is a split class, so coming in next will be our second class of yearling heifers.
Really a powerful set of yearling bulls when we get over here on the black side of it, and you know, I mean, we've got a little bit of differences in type and kind here and a bit of a judgment call, and went with the bull here that the lead off this class. He's big, powerful hipped. He's a real muscular individual. Likewise with our second place bull. I mean, he's big topped. I love the length of side in him. Where this first place bull for me, he's a little softer and deeper in through that lower third. I mean, this bull right from that heart girth back in through his flank. You love that depth that this bull has. He's a little more flexible in through them hocks. I mean, the best moving bull in the class is in third. That bull gets out here and moves. He's fresh. He's great that way. But when we break down this first and second place bull, I just like the angles in this bull's hock a little better, and the way he carries that joint when he gets through. Our second place bull has the advantage here in chest. He's a long-sided bull. He's better in through his chest. He's a little nicer up in through that neck when you get in through there, but yet he's masculine. He's got enough masculinity and muscularity to him, and so it's really a judgment call on the flexibility in this first place bull's hock and his softness, but two really powerful bulls. The tough part here is the bull in third. These two bulls are bigger and powerful and a little more performance to them, but that is an April bull, and he is the most flexible, soundest, and probably best looking bull in the class, so you really have to admire that about him. He just is a little bit outpowered from a performance standpoint, and he's also given up a little bit of age, so maybe that's due to it, but really high quality individuals. Then we get into a pair of bulls that are muscular and they're long and they've got a lot to offer, just don't tidy it up into as soft and as complete a package as these bulls do above them.
Thank you, Dennis. So leading off the class is entry number 2159, Wilbar Greenlight 839H from Wilbar Cattle Company. Second in class is entry number 2154. Easterdale Hierarchy 5720 from Easterdale Angus and Fred, Violet, and Ed Lansdale. Third in class is entry number 2156. Premier Rip from Premier Livestock, Hassan Livestock, and Level Farms. Fourth in class is entry number 2158. Halls Hoss 513H from Halls Cattle Company and Don Fay and Chad Trowbridge. And fifth in class is entry number 2164. Greenwood High Class JJP 87H from Greenwood Cattle, the Nordall Limousine and Angus. Our next class coming into the ring will be our second split of yearling bulls, and these bulls were born from January the 2nd to the 27th of 2020. I'd just like to mention to our exhibitors in the back and our marshalers that we would like to move into the breeders herd class before we picture our grand champion bulls. So if you're in the breeders herd, if you could be ready to go, as soon as the champion bull is selected, we will do that class before we take our pictures.
Over on the red side, just an exceptional female to start this class out with. She can be any color and she's just good. I mean, she's got body and I love her angles and I love the structure of her hip. I love her hind leg. She gets out and she moves. She's just really, really nice shouldered. She's not extreme in terms of neck. She's got plenty of length length up front, ties together from her shoulders into her neck really well. Really like her chest, her big body that she carries behind her. You from a structure standpoint, you just can't argue her. She's just really, really nice, big body, powerful from the nose back to her tail. Heifer in second, real close pair of heifers I thought down here in 2 and 3. I guess I went with a greener heifer. I like her condition. She's maybe just shows herself a little more feminine today. She's not quite as stout as the heifer in third, but I like her outline. She profiles really nice. I think she's adequate in terms of muscle. I mean, yeah, we might want to lengthen her out from her hooks to her pins just a little bit, but a heifer that I just like in terms of her femininity and just a real nice quality type of female that gets out and moves. And the third place heifer is sure a stout, big-bodied heifer. I'd like same thing. I'd maybe like to give her a little more from her hooks to her pins, just give her a little longer hip. But you sure appreciate the body and the cowiness, I guess that she displays. She wants to get outside of herself a little bit when she gets on the move. But a female that I think is just going to make an outstanding cow. The heifer in fourth here follows, I guess, probably pretty close to the heifer in third. Lots of body. Just a real nice heifer, gets out and moves real nice, really level top, big kind of performance orientated female, maybe just carrying a tick too much cover for me today. Like to just maybe kind of firm her up a little bit to run with those other three heifers.
First place in our intermediate division goes to entry 2246, Red Turon 6 Mile Misty 131H from Turon Farms and also 6 Mile Ranch. Second place, entry 2239, Red Cinder Viberd 583H from Cinder Angus at Barhead, Alberta, Cinder Angus and Bryn Yoder. Third place, Red CL Steen Dynamite 950H from Lane Steen at Dundurn and also owned with Randy McGowan. Fourth place goes to entry 2240, Red Cinder Viberd 683H from Cinder Angus at Barhead, Cinder Angus and Heavian Yoder. So once again, our sponsors for our championship intermediate division award is Double F Cattle Company of Parkside, and the reserve champion intermediate female award is sponsored by Ellison Farms, Red Angus, Delburn, Alberta. In the class now is 3 entries, which is our senior division yearling females. This is for our senior division.
Another really powerful class of Angus yearling bulls when we get over to this side. And started out this class with the most fault-free and functional bull. I mean, this bull really gets out around the ring really well. I mean, he'd be the most flexible yearling we've seen in this show. And yet he's got some hip in him. He's really good topped. He's got some muscularity to him. Really, really good in that sheath. A good-headed individual. Strong in through that chest floor, right back in through that flank. And a bull that, like I said, he's really, really flexible, and you love that about him. Then we get into a real powerhouse individual. I mean, this bull is big-hipped and muscular, lots of lower quarter in him, big center body to him. He'll just get a little coarser through that shoulder, bolder in through that chest floor, and then opens up into that heart girth a little bit more than our first place bull. Second place bull, I mean, he patterns a little more like our first bull. He's good looking, just not quite the muscularity and mass and top in him that our bulls above him have. Then we get into a real attractive bull in fourth. I mean, you love the way this bull looks. He's deep-sided, great in through that hind leg. He's really flexible on the move. You just like to widen out his base and add a little more degree of muscle down in through that lower quarter and just over through his top to get him a little bit higher today. But from a depth of body standpoint and a good look, I mean, he's a good looking bugger. Then we get into our next bull. He's really long-sided, flexible on the move. You know, I mean, he's just given up a little bit. He'll get a little weaker in his top compared to the few of the other bulls here today, but a good, solid, good moving individual. Then we get into our muscle mass bull of the class. I mean, this dude is packed full of muscle, huge and expressive in through that lower quarter, really, you know, heavy top bull. He'll just lose a little bit of flexibility with that high degree of muscle mass, get a little bit higher today. But a real interesting group of yearling bulls in this split.
Thank you, Dennis. So leading off this class is entry number 2162, HLC Grit 705H from Hollinger Land and Cattle and Madsen Angus. Second in class is 2155, PF TJL Hendricks RLP 8H from Partial Farms and TJL Enterprises. Third in class is 2157, Covey Hill Captain 12H from Ranch Covey Hill, Dave Sample, Mac Angus Farm. Fourth in class is 2163, HLC Roundtable 679H from Hollinger Land and Cattle and Goodsky Ranch. Fifth in class is 2165, Justimere 6022 Resource 907H from Justimere Farms Limited and Beartooth Ranch. Sixth in class is entry number 2160, Eldom 683 Forthright 10H from Eldom Cattle. We'll now move into our junior division championship class. Our junior champion bull is sponsored by Glen Gable Angus and our reserve from Thomas and Angus. Coming back out of our first split is 2159, Wilbar Greenlight 839H from Wilbar Cattle Company, and entry number 2154, Easterdale Hierarchy 5720 from Easterdale Cattle and Fred Lansdale. And out of our second split, we have 2162 HLC Grit 705H from Hollinger Land and Cattle and Matson Angus. And entry number 2155 PF TJL Hendricks RPL 8H from Partial Farms and TJL Enterprises.
Back over on the Red Angus side, three real nice females again in this class, outstanding from top to bottom. The heifer we're going to start with, I just think kind of puts the most pieces together the best. I like her angles. She's got some body. I mean, she's just a heifer when she gets on. Let's see if you can pull her up. She stays level in her top. I just like her look from her profile. Just a real nice sound kind of heifer that you sure appreciate the type and kind. The heifer in second here, sure like her as well. I'd maybe like to change the angles in her shoulder a little bit, maybe drop her down the flank. But a heifer that I just really think is going to be an outstanding type female and offers a lot of good and just a very nice bred heifer. The third heifer here is a big, powerful heifer. I'd like to maybe trim her up just a little bit in terms of condition, I guess. But a heifer that you sure appreciate the amount of volume and shape and just the good that heifer has to offer. Just like, just like to extend her through her front end a little bit. I think if you trim her down a little bit, you'd get a little more length and you'd see a little more extension that heifer really does offer.
So our senior division yearling heifer champion will go to entry 2247, red Blair's West Darlin, 33H from Blair's West Land and Cattle at Drake, also McGuire, Blair, and Westman Farms. Second place and a reserve senior champion female is 2246, red 6 Mile Durba 18H from 6 Mile Ranch, Peyton and Sterling Chrisman. Third place goes to entry 2245, red Blair's West Cheetah 22H from T-Bar K Rancho Wowoda and Sydney Dorrance. Our sponsors for our senior division champion is I Hill Stock Farm at Macklin, and the reserve senior award is sponsored by Rock Creek Ranching at Lovesask. Now in the ring will be our 2-year-old cow-calf pairs.
Really powerful four bulls out here for our Angus Junior Championship division. I mean, these dudes are packed full of muscle. They're big top. They're explosive in their rib. You know, they're bulls that got a lot of Angus character to them, and I think bulls will really do the breed a lot of good when we get through. I'm going to select a couple that really rose to the top for me, you know, in terms of power and performance and putting it all together. And I think, you know, just four really outstanding individuals. There's some differences, you know, between them and depending which way your program goes, but I think we've got some really, really high power individuals here.
There you have our junior champion bull, entry number 2159, Wilbar Greenlight 839H, shown by Wilbar Cattle Company. And our reserve out of the same class goes entry number 2154, Easterdale Hierarchy 5720 from Easterdale Angus, Fred Violet, and Ed Lansdale. Congratulations to our exhibitors. And once again, I'd just like to remind our exhibitors and our marshals in the Black Angus show over here that we would like to get our breeders herd class done before we picture our champion bulls. So if we are the breeders herd and be up here and ready to go with the champion after the champion bull is selected, we would sure like to keep things rolling along.
Two outstanding 2-year-old females that represent your guys' strong breed that we've been so fortunate to look at and evaluate today. I guess I just maybe just kind of like the show ring presence that this first pair brings. She just ties together from that shoulder into her neck a little better. She's tremendous in terms of body and got a real nice udder to her. They're just maybe just a, you know, I mean, they're a tick bigger and they're just a little more extension for her, you know, for me today. Nothing to take away the cow in second. I love her moderation and her udder design. I'd maybe like change a few things on the front end of the calf, you know, but just maybe make her come out of her top of her shoulder. She's maybe a little round over the top of her shoulder. But two exceptional pairs that just do a great job of promoting, you know, the foundation of the Red Angus, you know, herd, which is these great females. So let's put our hands together for these outstanding 2-year-old pairs.
So our champion 2-year-old pair, sponsored by Taylor's Red Angus of Cabri, goes to entry 2248, red 6 Mile Maria 214G, with her calf at side, red 6 Mile Miss Maria 475J from 6 Mile Ranch at Fir Mountain and Ivy Livestock. Second, and it'll be a reserve 2-year-old pair, sponsored by Ranchland Veterinary Services of Carnduff, is entry 2249, red Turon Dynamite 143G, with her calf at side, red Turon Dynamite 4J from Turon Farms, Forestburg, Alberta. Our next in class will be our senior cow-calf pairs. We have 3 entries. From that point, we'll move into our grand champion lineup of our 2021 National Red Angus Show at Canadian Western Agribition.
And over here in our Black Angus Show, we've got our first class of 2 for our 2-year-old bulls. So this first split, the bulls were born from April the 10th to January the 28th of 2019.
Once again, for our Red Angus Show, our judge this afternoon is Mr. Jeff Flesh. Jeff and his family ranch and raise Angus cattle at Shelby, Montana. Jeff was mentioned before the show started here. His grandfather Lester bought the ranch's first registered Angus cows from Canada in 1963. Jeff rejoined the operation after spending some time with his family in Colorado, and they exhibit cattle at the National Western Stock Show and have also brought cattle in past years to Canadian Western Agribition.
Really, really impressive first class at 2-year-old bulls we get out here, and there's some slight differences, but a lot of similarities when you get on top of these bulls and watch them move, and they're flexible for big bulls, and they really get out there, and I think we rose to the top with 2 individuals that they've got the most internal body dimension. They're deep-sided bulls. They're bulls that have muscularity. When you get over the top of these bulls, they carry that quarter down. They're wide-based, and they're good-looking bulls. this first place bull for me, I mean, it's really intriguing to me how he carries that extreme depth of body right from that heart girth right back in through that flank, and you take him from the navel back, he really excels in that depth of body, carrying it through, yet he's muscular in his lower quarter. And a bull that really gives you a good up-headed look when he gets out here, beautiful Angus headed, and you really got to like that about him with that masculinity, and yet really attractive with it. Real square in them fronts, and I think just a really tremendous individual. In terms of length of body, the second bull excels over the first place bull. I mean, he is a long-spined rascal, and yet he's big-topped, big-hipped. From a muscle standpoint, you got to love this bull. I mean, he's wide-based, he gets out and moves. He'll break a little bit in his heart compared to our first place bull, but I mean, that probably comes with his length of body. I think two really tremendous bulls. Then we get into our third place bull, real muscular bull, big top type of an individual, just not quite the internal body dimension that these top bulls above him have, and you'd pull his chest in just a touch. Likewise on our fourth place bull, extremely long-sided, really has a lot to offer there, just not quite the lower third in him, and that softness when you get into his mass and his center body on that bull. But a great way to start this 2-year-old show, and two extremely high-quality bulls on the front end of this class.
Thank you, Dennis. So leading off the class is entry number 2170, Brooking Emerald 9179, shown by Brooking Angus Ranch, Anchorage Farms, Everblack Angus, Riverstone Cattle, Westway Farms, Peterson Livestock, Riverfront Ranch, CSI Angus, and KT Ranches. Second in class is entry numbers 2174, Boss Lake Bellagio 911G, shown by Boss Lake Genetics and Rio Grande Angus. Third in class is 2171, Bariel Royal Mint 88G, shown by Bar H Land and Cattle Company and Bariel Angus. And fourth in class is 2169, Bariel Big Iron 162G, shown by Arta Farms Limited and Freeway Angus. We'll now be moving into our second and final split of 2-year-old bulls. We should have 4 bulls in this class, born from January the 5th to the 23rd of 2019.
Back over on the Red Angus side, 3 exceptional Red Angus aged pairs. We're going to start up here with our first place. Just a really nice type of pair. I like the extension. I like the length. I think they have the most show ring presence today. The cow's got a nice udder. She gets out and moves well. Yeah, I'd like to maybe change her tail head just a tick, and maybe wants to get up just a little bit out in her top. But a cow that's just got some body and just got that femininity, kind of that front pasture look. A big, powerful, long-bodied cow in second. Maybe wants to get a little tall right over the top of her shoulders, but you sure appreciate the length of body and the levelness of her udder. A big performance-type heifer calf, like you sure like that about her. Yeah, you'd like to prettying her up a little through that front end a tick to make them run any higher. But, you know, I mean, sure, a cow, the proof is in the pudding with that heifer calf. I mean, that heifer calf, she's designed to, to be a performance kind of type, herd bull, kind of mama cow. Just a really nice pair in second. And then here again in third, awful nice, big, stout bull calf that this moderate bodied cow, brought to town. This cow's nice shouldered and big ribbed and gets around the ring great. Bull calf's big, stout bull calf. Yeah, he's a bit out in his front shoulders a little bit, and maybe you'd like to free him up on his pasterns just a little as he gets away from you. But sure, an exceptional pair.
So in our senior cow-calf pair division, the champion mature female is sponsored by Bridgeway Livestock of Wovoda. It goes to entry 2251, red 6 Mile Marta 928E. With her calf at side red 6 Mile Marta 836J from 6 Mile Ranch at Fir Mountain. Second place goes to entry 2250, red Cinder Free J 29E with her calf at side red Cinder Free J 729J from Cinder Angus at Barhead, Bryn Yoder, and Bryler Ranch. Entry 2252 is third with her red Cinder Free J 129F with her calf at side red T-Bar K 34B Alamo 3J from T-Bar K and Jordan Dorrance. So once again, our senior champion female is entry 2251, red 6 mile Marta 928E, and a reserve senior champion mature female is entry 2250, red Cinder Free J 29E. So getting ready now, we'll have our parade of the division champion females. This will be for our grand champion Red Angus female and for the reserve grand champion Red Angus female. And Mr. Ian McDonald will pipe our champion lineup females in. So here in front of us, ladies and gentlemen, is our lineup for our 2021 Grand Champion Red Angus females. Starting out from our junior division is entry 2206, red 6 mile Fredo 687J. Reserve junior champion female is entry 2205, red 6 mile Miss Minerva 667J. Coming out of our intermediate division is entry 2221, red 6 mile Battle 444J. A reserve intermediate heifer calf champion is entry 220, red 6 mile Miss Fredo 344J. Coming out of our senior heifer calf division is entry 2232, red 6 mile B-car Miss Hammy 26J from 6 Mile Ranch and Eric Smith. The reserve senior heifer calf champion is entry 2234, red Tiron Lauren 40J from Tiron Farms, Forestburg. In our junior division of our yearling females is entry 2244, red SVR Ruby 46H from 6 Mile Ranch and Peyton and Sterling Chrisman. In our intermediate division, entry 2246, red Tiron 6 Mile Misty 131H from Tiron Farms and 6 Mile Ranch. And entry 2239 is a reserve intermediate division with red Cinder Viber 583H from Cinder Angus at Barhead and Bryn Yoder. In our senior yearling division, entry 2247, red Blairsworth Garland 33H from McGuire Blair, Westman Farms and Blair's West Land and Cattle. 2242 is a reserve senior division yearling heifer with red 6 Mile Duraba 18H from 6 Mile Ranch, Peyton and Sterling Chrisman. In our 2-year-old pair division, entry 2248, red 6 Mile Maria 214G with her calf at side, red 6 Mile Miss Maria 475J from 6 Mile Ranch at Fir Mountain and Ivy Livestock. And a reserve 2-year-old pair is 2249, red Tiron Dynamite 143G with her calf at side red Turin Dynamite 4J from Turon Farms at Forestburg, Alberta. In our senior division females, 2251 red 6 Mile Marta 928E with her calf at side red 6 Mile Marta 836J from 6 Mile Ranch at Fir Mountain. And a reserve mature females, 2250 red Cinder Free J 29E with her calf at side Miss Red Cinder Free J 729J from Cinder Angus, Bryn Yoder, and Bryla Ranch. This is a lineup for our Grand Champion and Reserve Grand Champion females.
I'll be quick over here in the black side so that we can give Jeff the mic here pretty quick, but we've got 3 really, really powerful bulls in this 2-year-old class. I mean, it is absolutely exceptional, and I think I said in one bull calf class, it's a shame that I got to put a bull there in third that's extremely powerful muscled. He's big topped, he's good on the move, he's really, really bold and expansive in through his rib. He's maybe just not quite as nice in his chest floor or as strong over that top and explosive down low as the 2 bulls above him, but that is an exceptional bull that could stand a lot more competition. Then we get into these first 2 bulls. I mean, it's a judgment call here. They're a little bit dissimilar in type and kind, but they're not as dissimilar as one really thinks. They're both big top bulls. You get in over top of them, you know, they've got a lot of ribeye in them. They're big center body type of bulls. They follow right from that heart girth all the way back. They're great in their flank. We've got a little more of an attractive bull in the second hole. He's a little better in through that chest floor, real strong level hip type of a bull. Get into our first place bull. I really like the angles of this bull. What he comes to the top for me is I like that angularity to that hock. When he comes out, he'll really reach and get out on the move, and that's what does it for me here today. You love that length aside, that big old top in him, and he's a real easy doing mellow type of a bull with a really good traditional Angus type of head with some muscularity and masculinity to him, and a good footed individual. And as I mentioned before, here's the long-sided, big topped, really attractive individual, great in his chest floor. I think just 2 really exceptional bulls that ran against each other in a tough class with a stellar third place bull. I mean, this could be one of the best third place 2-year-old bulls we've seen here for a lot of years. So I think hats off to these exhibitors. Great class.
Thank you, Dennis. So leading off our class is entry number 2173, DMM Maximus 18G, shown by Miller Wilson Angus and Little Willow Creek. Second in class is 2166, Chestnut Turning Heads 29, shown by Mitchelson Land and Cattle, Wheatland Cattle, and Chestnut Angus Farms. And third in class is 2167, Shiloh Gunnery 25G, shown by Shiloh Cattle Company. We'll now move into our senior bull calf class, sponsored by Ranchland Veterinary Services, and our reserve senior, sponsored by Bar H Land and Cattle. So coming back out of our first split is 2170, Brooking Emerald 9179 from Brooking Angus, Anchorage Farms, Everblack Angus, Riverstone Cattle, Westway Farms, Peterson Livestock, Riverfront Ranch, CSI and KT Ranches, as well as entry number 2174, Boss Lake Bellagio 91G for Boss Lake Genetics and Rio Grande Angus. And out of our second split, 2173, DMM Maximus 18G, shown by Miller Wilson Angus, Little Willow Creek, as well as 2166, Chestnut Turning Heads 29 from Mitchelson Land and Cattle, Wheatland Cattle, and Chestnut Angus Farms.
Well, over here in the Red Angus, for your champion, Red Angus female, just an outstanding set of cattle we've seen today. You know, I mean, Red Angus are known for being a maternal breed, and I think that that shows out here. Just a great lineup of females all day. It was just very impressive. I'd sure like to thank the Canadian Red Angus Association for having me up today, and the Canadian Western Agribition and the City of Regina and everybody that made this possible, so we can get back to normal, and we can get back to cattle shows and the camaraderie that comes with them. And I know here a few years ago, probably 12 years ago, I came up for the first time up here to Regina and exhibited cattle here, and there's just no place like it. I mean, the welcoming. I mean, I don't know that you ever feel more welcome at a place than than up here at Agribition. You know, we were new. We were the only people in the barn, and people just came up and introduced themselves, and they just made you feel at home. And I guess you know, only living 30 miles from the border, it does kind of feel like home. And you know, crossing that border yesterday, the first time in 2 years, you know, you just think, man, this is crazy. You know, like, what's this world coming to? So, but anyway, it is sure great to be back, and it's sure great to see everybody in the stands, and it's you know, we need to get this thing back opened up so we can start doing commerce back and forth across the border. You know, I mean, living in a border town, you realize how many dollars travel back and forth across the border, you know, and we just need to get this thing back opened up and get back to normal. And I mean, yeah, not that we don't think this thing is real. We just, you know, we got to take the preventative steps and do what's right. And we can't forget about production agriculture. And so it's just great to see everybody out and around. And once again, thank everybody for having me. And I'll go out and select your Grand and Reserve champion.
So coming out of our intermediate yearling heifers, entry 2246, Red Turon, 6 Mile Misty, 131H from Turon Farms, Forestburg, Alberta, and 6 Mile Ranch. A reserve champion pair. Reserve Grand Champion females, entry 2248, Red 6 Mile Maria, 214G from 6 Mile Ranch and Ivy Livestock. She has her calf at side, Red 6 Mile Maria, 457, 475J. So once again, our Grand Champion Red Angus female is entry 2246, Red Turon 6 Mile Misty from Turon Farms, 6 Mile Ranch, and the Reserve Grand Champion female is entry 2248, Red 6 Mile Maria, 214G from 6 Mile Ranch and Ivy Livestock.
Well, all I can tell you is when I signed up to do this, when they asked me, I knew it'd be tough. And I tell you, I didn't realize it'd be this tough. I mean, this is one of the strongest sets of senior bulls I've seen in the division here at Agribition for a lot of years. And we've got bulls that are, you know, for me, what's really, really intriguing is we've got bulls that are really, really similar in a lot of ways, but yet they've got subtle differences that you can take a breeding program any direction you want to go, and you know, but every bull here is big, powerful middle, they're massive hip, they're massive in their muscle design in through their lower quarter. They're bulls that get out and travel for big bulls that are carrying this kind of performance and weight in them. They're big nutted individuals. They're good headed cattle, and you know, my father always taught me when they were good head, and you see cattle coming through the gate, you can pretty much tell what their body type's going to be like after it, and all these bulls are like that, and it really, really rings true. And I think, you know, this is just an extremely powerful division. You can go any different direction, and I'm not going to argue with you, because I mean, and that's a testament to these breeders and the breed when you see this kind of quality out here. And I'm going to select a couple individuals for me here today, but this is amazing, and congratulations. This is absolutely an amazing class of senior bulls.
And there you have our senior champion bull out of our second split. Entry number 2173, DMM Maximus 18G from Miller Wilson Angus and Little Willow Creek. And our reserve senior comes out of the same class, entry number 2166, Chestnut Turning Heads 29 from Mitchelson Landed Cattle, Wheatland Cattle, and Chestnut Angus Farms. Congratulations on our senior champion bulls. And once again, exhibitors, I would just like to remind you and the marshalers that we would like to do our breeders' herd before we picture our champion bulls. So as soon as our champion bull is done, we'd like to do our breeders' herd class, please.
Just back onto the Red Angus side here, some presentation with Mr. Kyle Hubert presenting the championship banner from the Saskatchewan Cattlemen's Association. Marshall Holiday from John Deere. Cole Jensen from John Deere presenting the John Deere championship jacket. Roxanne Olenek from MNP making the presentation also. For the Grand Champion Awards, sponsored by Nordell Angus at Simpson, Saskatchewan. Also sponsored with the Hilberg and Burke Jewelry, the trophy buckle sponsored by Agribition. And once again, the Reserve Grand banner is sponsored by 6 Mile Ranch at Firmount.
And ladies and gentlemen, our Grand Champion Bull class, once again led in by Ian McDonald. So coming back out of our Junior Bull Calf division, we have entry number 2112, Swindon Black Knight 616J from Swindon Ranch, and entry number 2109, SMW Buzz 26J from Wagner Angus. Our Intermediate Bull Calf champion, entry number 2122, Merit Incredible 1020J, shown by Merit Cattle Company. And entry 2126, Boss Lake the Kraken 119J for Boss Lake Genetics and First Class Marketing. Our Senior Bull Calf champion 2139, HLC CSI Private Stock 879J from Hollinger Land of Cattle and CSI. And 2146, Justimere LM 7112 Yager 314J from Justimere Farms. Our Junior Champion Bull, entry 2159, Wilbar Greenlight 839H from Wilbar Farms. And our Reserve 2154, Easterdale Heresy 5720 from Eastdale Angus and Fred Lansdale. And returning from our Senior Division 2173, DMM Maximus 18G from Miller Wilson Angus and Little Willow Creek. And Chestnut Turning Heads 29 for Mitchelson Land of Cattle, Wheatland Cattle, and Chestnut Angus Farms. Ladies and gentlemen, your champion bull class. Well, Dennis is looking at his champion bulls. We're going to have Riley Leeson, our Canadian Junior Ambassador, say a few words.
Thank you. I just want to say again, thank you everybody for coming out to the 50th Annual Agribition. I'm really excited and truly proud of the breed we have presented here in front of you today. As your 2021 Junior Angus Ambassador, I just want to say thank you to all the breeders and everybody who supports the Canadian Angus Foundation, which allows for programs like this to exist. Just also want to say, juniors, each and every one of you sitting in the stands right now, please go out and get involved. Go apply for that travel bursary to go to Showdown or Goal. Just get out, meet new people. The world is your oyster, and there's so many opportunities available to you. So with that, just again, thank you everybody for your support, and congratulations on an awesome show.
Well, I think I used up all my words in the female show, so I won't for the championship there, so I won't drag this out a whole lot longer for all you breeders. I think we've had an exceptional female show right through, followed right into a bull show that to me was just truly impressive. Right from one end of these bulls to the other, they're good-headed, they're burly, they're stout individuals, they're sound. You know, we really wanted to find cattle today that were soft-made and dense and full of muscle and will contribute to the overall cattle industry. I think the beauty about our Canadian industry is we don't take things to the extremes. You know, we'll see in other areas where to keep these shows relevant, these cattle have to have commercial acceptability. And that's what we really strive to do up here, and I'm really proud of our Canadian industry up here that, you know, really we use the shows as a gathering, and it's a gathering of genetics, it's a gathering of people, and it's a gathering of sharing ideas. And then we have a cow show all with it, and we're going to value on structure and type, and as we get into the new age of genomics and EPDs, and I think those are great tools, and they'll advance us. You know, the science of that type of stuff will advance us in end product merit. However, the value of structure and feet and keeping great udders on these females and keeping these bulls looking like bulls and muscularity, I think is ever more important now than it's ever been. And I think that goes hand in hand with balancing genomics and data and pedigrees. So I think you as breeders, you know, use the bulls that work for you. Analyze all these bulls, all these ones back in the barn. Use the genetics that work for you and use the tools with it and layer it all together. I think as we get into the new age of what we're going to see in genomics and what have you, it's still going to be the true breeders and cowboys and the people that keep the fundamentals and common sense are the breeders that are going to combine everything together into a great package. So I think that's all I've got to say. I'm not going to bore you with a bunch more words. I'm going to go select a couple individuals that to me are just exceptional in their own right. But I think this whole set has been just truly great. So thank you very much. This will be the last you're going to hear from me today, and it's truly been an honor and a humbling experience being able to sort cattle of this quality and being in front of all of you today.
Ladies and gentlemen, yes, put our hands together for Dennis today. Fabulous job. Thanks for doing it, Dennis.
We're all afraid of tomorrow, just a little, and we all dance circles around the sun till it's done, and you're the one.
There you have our grand champion bull at our National Angus Show, our senior champion. Entry number 2173, DMM Maximus 18G from Miller Wilson Angus and Little Willow Creek. And our reserve out of the same division goes to our reserve senior champion bull 2166, Chestnut, Turning Heads 29 for Mitchelson Land and Cattle, Wheatland Cattle on Chestnut Farms. Congratulations, exhibitors. I'd just like to thank our sponsors. Crescent Creek Angus, who are doing Hillberg and Burke. We got a $500 semen voucher from Alta Genetics, a buckle from Agribition, jackets sponsored by John Deere. We have Marshall Holiday and Tara Lee LaRose here. Our Saskatchewan Cattlemen's Association, represented by Kyle, and of course Myers Norris Penny, who's represented by Roxana Olnick, and Robert Chubb Blumdago will be around at the portable bar. And our reserve champion, sponsored by Merritt Cattle Company and Alta Genetics. Michelle Potapinski has a few words to say.
Thanks, Bob. On behalf of the Saskatchewan Angus Association, I would like to thank Judge Sarienko for evaluating all the cattle on the black side, and Judge Flesh as he continues to evaluate on the red side. I would also like to thank everyone for the work behind the scenes, from the marshalers to the ringmen to Bob and Rob doing the announcing for us, and the clerks, as well as all the ladies doing the prizing, and especially to Belinda Wagner and her staff. Without them, we wouldn't be able to put the show on or let it run as smoothly as we do. And I would like to thank our board for helping us out and getting us through the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. And Roger, if we got guys ready back there at the breeders' herds, we can roll into that before we do our pictures.
Over on the Red Angus side, a super powerful bull calf to start this bull show off with. Just one that ties everything all together really nice. He's soft in his makeup, and he's nice through that front end. His angles are nice. He's got enough extension up front. A bull that's soft enough and got the right flex, and just a calf that could stand an awful lot of competition.
So entry 2254 is our first class of Red Angus bull calves to start the bull show here at Agribition. Entry 2254, Red Double B Red Watch 129 from Double B Angus and McLean. This will also be our junior bull calf winner, sponsored by Wood Cooley Cattle at Swift Current. Coming in next will be our intermediate division class with 3 entries.
Could we please have some representatives from Hall's Cattle Company come down to the front of the ring here? We've just had a cell phone handed in up here at the announcer stand that apparently was found on the floor in the ladies' washroom. So if you're missing your cell phone with your hotel key and stuff like that in it, it's up here at the announcer stand. And, yep, Barry and Patty, if you guys could just charge on in here.
There's sure some differences in this class here when we evaluate these Red Bulls. The bull we're going to start with, the thickest, biggest butted, carries himself pretty well, just a real stout individual. He's maybe a tick more rounder in his makeup and maybe a little rounder over the top of his shoulder, but a bull that's awful impressive in terms of body and length and shape. Then we get in the second place bull here. He's maybe just a little more plainer in his type, but I really like him. He's just really complete. He's real level. He's not the thickest, stoutest bull in class, but he just does a lot of things right. He Like I said, he could be just a tick stouter maybe to compete with a bull ahead of him today, but I really like his body and his rib structure and his soundness about him. The bull we have in third here, he just gets a little too narrow for me back in his pin sets a little bit. A bull that's got some body and you sure like him from the side profile, you get behind him and you just like to kind of blow that top out just a little more back by his tail head to have him compete any higher. Maybe just give him a little more flex on his rear end as well when he gets away from you and gets on the move.
So in our intermediate bull class, entry 2257, red Double B Lotto Max 102 from Double B Angus at McLean. Second place, entry 2255, red DMM Rumble 74J from Shiloh Cattle Company at Craigmile, Alberta, also owned by Miller Wilson Angus. Third, entry 2256, red Blair's West Red Zone 51J from Blair's West Land and Cattle, and also McGuire Blair. Once again, this is our intermediate division champion, sponsored by New Horizon Angus at Lipton, and a reserve bull calf champion, sponsored by Nielsen Land and Cattle Company at Craig.
Over here in the Black Angus ring, I'd just like to thank Trout Nutrition Canada, represented today by Jessica Hextall, on presenting the Herdsman Award in our Black Angus show. And I'd like to congratulate Hall's Cattle Company from Craven, Saskatchewan on winning this award. Good job, guys. We're starting to get the cattle gathered up in the ring here in our Black Show for our Breeders' Herd competition, and I'd like to thank Windy Willows Farms for being the sponsors of this class.
Here's another big stout class of Red Angus bulls. I think the bull that comes to the top of the class, just maybe kind of the combination bull. He offers a lot of shape. I mean, you really appreciate the twist of his hind quarter, and he gets out and he moves. Bull got a lot of body. Yeah, maybe I'd just soften him up just a tick in the flank a little bit to get real picky on a pretty good one. But the bull that just carries himself so well up over his top and his level, and just kind of the right combination bull, I thought, to start the class off with. Bull that follows him best, I think, is a bull in the second hole. Maybe he doesn't have quite the twist to his lower quarter the bull does in the first place, but a bull that's awful acceptable in terms of body and front end structure, and the bull gets away from me and moves really well. I just think a real sound, nice, easy to look at type of a bull that complements the bull in first place. The bull in third place is a little bigger frame bull, which I like. He's got some performance. Study this bull from a testicular development and he's very acceptable. He's a big bull. He's maybe a little flatter in his design, but you like him out here. You like him from the profile. You just maybe like to lower that twist down a little bit in his hind end. Maybe make him move out just a little better on those hind wheels and move him up any higher. The big bull following maybe wants to get under himself a little bit. I'd like to add some angularity to both the front end and his back end. He just wants to get a little straight up in that front shoulder for me today. Maybe just doesn't want to move out quite as well as the bulls ahead of him. The bull coming next here, a long-bodied bull that's really attractive from the side. You really study the bull. He's got a lot of potential. He may be carrying a little more lower chest today, and I'd like to maybe soften him up in his rib design a little bit. But a bull, you sure appreciate the length of body, and you get behind him and study him, and he's pretty firm. He's not carrying a lot of excess condition on him. Just a real nice kind of rancher, usable bull. The bull that ends the class, I sure like him as well. You like his length. You just like to give him a little more flex in those rear pasterns and let him set in motion just a little freer to move up any higher today.
So in our senior division bull calf on the Red Angus side, first place goes to entry 2261, Red Turon 6 Mile Joker 84J from Turon Farms, Forestburg, Alberta, and 6 Mile Ranch. Second place goes to entry 2260, Red Shiloh Jackal 220J from Shiloh Cattle Company, Craigmile, Alberta. Third, 2258, Red Puro Maniac 152J from Puro Red Angus, Stettler, Alberta. Fourth place, 2259, Red Puro Tempest 108J, Puro Red Angus, Stettler, Alberta. Fifth, 2264, Red TNS Loaded 4J from TNS Farms, Rose Valley. Sixth place goes to 2263, Red TNS Ringo 41J from TNS Farms at Rose Valley. Once again, entry 2261, Red Turon 6 Mile Joker will be our senior division calf champion, sponsored by TBRK Red Ranches from Wawota, and a reserve bull calf champion, entry 2260, Red Shiloh Jackal 20J from Turon Farms, Forestburg, Alberta. In the ring now is our junior division bulls. We have one class of yearling bulls. Just once again, everybody, for the Saskatchewan Angus Bell of the Barn People's Choice Jackpot Show. It's going to happen tomorrow evening, 7:30 p.m. after the sale. It'll be in the John Deere Arena. It's $20 for a ballot, book, and supper ticket. So remember, that's 7:30 tomorrow over in the John Deere Sales Pavilion Arena. $20 for a ballot, book, and supper ticket. Once again, Bell of the Barn People's Choice Jackpot.
Okay, we have our Breeders' Herd class completed here. So first we'll go to Brooking Angus, second we'll go to Merritt, and third we'll go to the Lakeland College. And Maury, don't run away too quick. We have a couple more things for you here. I'd like to thank Saskatchewan Cattlemen's Association for sponsoring these next two banners, as well as Hamilton Farms, our premier breeder, and Bandera Ranches, our premier exhibitor. And I'm pleased to announce that Brooking Angus has won both the Premier Breeder and Exhibitor at the 50th Annual Agribition Sale and our National Angus Show. So congratulations, Justin and Tawny and family and crew. Well, that concludes our Black Angus Show. I'd really like to thank everybody for coming out, our exhibitors, all our helpers, everybody that came, everybody that joined us on DLMS. God bless and safe travels.
Indigo City, why do you get down? Indigo City, kicking me to the ground. Indigo City, why do you get down? Indigo City, kicking me to the ground. I'm running your way, but you push me away. Your lifeline, losing your mind. I'm here for you, babe. I've loved you the same this whole time. So tell me, what's on your mind? And I'm not here to hear you say you're fine. I can take the pain you hold inside. I wanna know, wanna see it. Can I feel your grip tonight? Can't get this off my mind. Does it only control you? Let me in, I'll help You think you're too far, but I'm where you are, you know. I said won't leave your side. They left you bare, but I'm begging you, stare in my eyes for you. Yeah, I give my life. And I'm not here to hear you say you're fine. I can take the pain you hold inside. I wanna know, wanna see it. Can I feel your kryptonite? Can't get this off my mind. Does it only control you? Let me in, I'll help you out. I won't lose you this time. Can I feel your kryptonite? Can I feel your kryptonite?
Boy, a real competitive class of bulls, yearling bulls here today. Two really big, good, sound bulls to start the class off with. The bull we're going to use to start the class, just a really big-bodied bull. He carries the most muscle down lowest into his leg. He is the biggest bone bull in the class. I like his look. He's just soft-sided. He's got enough extension up front. The angles are right. Foot size is nice. Like I said, he's definitely moderate for my type. I'd put another half a frame score underneath him if it was my bull. I'd like to just maybe elevate him a little bit, but boy, that's one that just gives you a great view. Lots of body, good through his heart, his chest floor, nice footed, like I said before. Just has a presence about him that just tough to get. And he's probably just a little lower, carries down in that lower third a little more than the bull in second does, and maybe just a tick stouter boned, and maybe just kind of has a little better set to that hind wheel, I guess. The bull in second, I like a lot as well. He's definitely maybe a tick greener, maybe just doesn't quite have that lower third that the bull ahead of him does. A bull that profiles really nice, a bull that gets out and moves really well. Just two really nice, good pattern bulls that represent the breed very well. The bull in third place here, maybe a greener bull out of the three, but sure a bull that I like from a profile standpoint. He's nice shouldered. I could maybe pull him apart just a little bit, give him a little more length of body. He's got a beautiful big hip in him. You get away from it, great testicular development. Bull moves well. He's sound on the ground. There's just not a lot of holes in him other than I just maybe like to kind of give him a little more length of body. The bull coming in the next place here, I sure like the bull. He profiles real nice. I guess I just like to add a little more natural shape to him. He gets maybe a little where I'd like to just kind of pull him apart from his hooks to his pins, make him just travel out just a little better on those hind wheels. I think just a bull that maybe with a little more angle in that front end and a tick more muscle kind of move up a little higher. The bull that ends the class with, another nice free-moving, good Red Angus bull, just kind of ran into a pretty hard class today and just didn't think he quite had the caliber of the bulls in front of him.
Sona Yearling Bull Division. Entry 2270, Red Rainbow Concord from Rainbow Red Angus of Sure, Alberta. Second place goes to entry 2268, Red Cinder Bravo 683H from Double F Cattle Company, Parkside, Saskatchewan, and Cinder Angus. Third place goes to entry 2269, Red ACC Red Box 119H from Anderson Cattle Company and Baker's Red Angus. Fourth place, entry 2267, Red Shiloh Hollywood 129H from Shiloh Cattle Company, Craig Mile, Alberta. Fifth place goes to entry 2266, Red Pyro Sriracha 0111H from Triple L Angus at Viscount and Pyro Red Angus. Once again, our junior champion bull sponsored by Right Livestock at Melfort with 2270 Red Rainbow Concord, and a reserve junior champion bull sponsored by Castle Rock Marketing at Swift Current which is entry 2268 Red Cinder Bravo. Now in the ring will be our senior yearling bulls. We have 3 senior yearling bulls.
Every day brings new light to help us on our way. Always taking my breath, whether sun or rain. The wind will carry us over that horizon we see. It's getting closer. This is why we live. For moments like this. This is why we live. For moments like this, yeah.
Here's another class that offers just, I mean, there's just 3 different types and kinds out here. I wouldn't argue a guy could go kind of any direction with them. This is just kind of the way I see it today. I'm just going to start with the freest moving bull, I think, in the class. A bull that he just flows really nice from his front end back into his rib, into his heart. The bull just... he just got a really nice profile, a really nice presence about him. He's got a really nice foot underneath him. He just balances up for me just as good as anything in class today. The bull in second, just a little bigger frame bull, carries a lot of shape down his top. got a lot of look up in that front end. I just like to maybe soften them up in that flank a little bit, let them move out a little freer on those hind legs. Maybe give them a little more set kind of back in that stifle a little bit. The big bull in third place, you sure appreciate the mass and the volume and the shape this bull offers. I just like to maybe pull him apart just a little bit. I just don't think that he's maybe quite as balanced as a bull that starts first in the first of the class. A bull that just has tremendous shape. A bull that'll sire the kind of beef calves that or bulls and breeding females that'll add muscle and add shape to a cow herd for sure.
So first place in senior division bull champion is entry 2272, Red 2 Revival 147G from Blair's West Land and Cattle Company at Drake. Second place goes to entry 2271, Red 6 Mile Parabellum 675G from 6 Mile Ranch at Fir Mountain. Also on the Robinson Cattle Company, Zane Ward and Rosebud Cattle. Third place goes to entry 2273, Red Wright's Combination 34G from Wright Cattle Company, Meadow Lake, and also Moose Creek Red Angus. So once again, our senior bull, sponsored by Blair's West Land and Cattle, goes to 2272, Red U2 Revival 147G from Blair's West Land and Cattle, and a reserve senior champion bull, sponsored by Kenray Ranch at Kisby, 2271, Red 6 Mile Parabellum 675G. Now getting ready to come back in will be our Grand Champion lineup. Our division champions for the Grand Champion, Reserve Grand Champion Bull, and piped in by Mr. Ian McDonald. So the lineup for our Red Angus Grand Champion Bull Award starts off with our junior division, entry 2254, Red Double B Red Watch from Double B Angus at McLean. Our intermediate division bulls, 2257, Red Double B Lotto Max 102 from Double B Angus at McLean. Second, 2255, Red DMM Rumble 74J from Shiloh Cattle Company, Craig Mile and Miller Wilson Angus. In our senior division bulls is entry 2261, Red Turon 6 Mile Joker 84J from Turon Farms at Forestburg and 6 Mile Ranch. Reserve senior bull is entry 2260, Red Shiloh Jackal 20J from Shiloh Cattle Company, Craig Mile. Into our yearling bull division, our junior champion bull is entry 2270, Red Rainbow Concord 28H from Rainbow Red Angus at Sure Hill, Alberta. In the reserve junior champion bull is entry 2268, Red Cinder Bravo 683H from Double F Cattle Company and Cinder Angus. In our senior bull division, entry 2272, Red U2 Revival 147G from Blair's West Land and Cattle Drake. And the reserve senior champion bull is entry 2271, Red 6 Mile Parabellum 675G from 6 Mile Ranch at Fir Mountain and Robinson Cattle Company, Zane Ward and Rosebud Cattle. This is our lineup for Grand Champion, Reserve Grand Champion, Red Angus Bulls at the 50th anniversary Canadian Western Agribition Red Angus Show.
Well, once again, I'd like to thank the Canadian Western Agribition and the Saskatchewan Angus Association and the Red Angus breeders that nominated me and had me come up today, and sure appreciate the opportunity. The second best thing when you get to judge up here on Angus Show Day is you miss out on going to the in-laws for Thanksgiving dinner. So, no, I was just joking. My wife and my family are probably listening, so that doesn't score me very many points, but it's sure nice to be up here, and I thank you for the opportunity to come up and evaluate this outstanding set of Red Angus cattle. And like I said before, we talked about the females. We just sure hope we can get this border back open. It was one thing the kids came up with me last in 19 and sure enjoyed it, and I hope to keep bringing my kids up because I want them to meet your kids, and I want them to show together, and just need to get this border back open for commerce and for us people in the agriculture industry, because it seems like we're miles away from each other when when really our type of cattle and our philosophies are, and our type of grass that we graze and the type of cattle and that we produce are almost identical. So anyway, thanks again for the opportunity, and I'll go out and select a Grand and Reserve Champion bull.
So our Grand Champion bull is entry 2270, coming out of our Yearling Bull Division, Red Rainbow Concord 28H, coming to you from Rainbow Red Angus, Shore Hill, Alberta. Coming out of our junior division is entry 2254, Red Double B Red Watch from Double B Angus, McLean, Saskatchewan, with our junior division bull. This will be a reserve Grand Champion bull of this year's show. Once again, our sponsors for the Grand Champion Bull Award is Rainbow Red Angus, Shore, Alberta, Hilberg and Burke with jewelry, a $500 Semen Collection voucher sponsored by Alta Genetics at Balzac, Alberta, trophy buckle sponsored by Agribition, the jacket sponsored by John Deere, with Cole Jensen making the presentation. The banner sponsored by the Saskatchewan Cattlemen's Association, presented by Kyle Hebert. For the reserve Grand Champion bull, Flying K Ranch in Wymark, Saskatchewan. Trophy buckle and banner, a $250 Semen Collection voucher from Alta Genetics, and a presentation from Myers Norris Penny, Roxanne Olenek. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have one more class at the conclusion of our Red Angus show. We have the Breeders' Herd competition, which is just entering the ring.
Well, I'm going down to Georgia, place where folks call home, and on to Carolina, place where I was born. Good morning, Music City, I've got a song for you, and God Almighty Lord paid my dues. Good God, I paid my dues from Mississippi on to Alabama, from Louisiana on to Texarkana. I'm getting a little too good, Lord, singing these old blues. Good God Almighty Lord paid my dues. Well, that Motel 6 in Austin has really gone downhill. But not as bad as my backseat, where I stayed in Amarillo. Not much further to California, just a couple one-night stands, and I'm wrapped up in my baby's arms again. Good God, I paid my dues from Albuquerque on to Arizona, from Boulder City up to Idaho. I'm getting a little too good, Lord, singing these old blues. Good God Almighty, Lord, paid my dues.
Well, let's let's put our hands together for all three of these breeders. Outstanding groups of cattle, outstanding breeders, and fortunate enough to know some of these guys and have kind of been around them before. And so 6 Mile, that'll be your first place, and second place on the end, and third right here in the middle. But once again, thanks for taking the time to come after the show and exhibit these groups of cattle. Very well deserving.
Can we have a representative from 6 Mile up here at the front of the stand here, please? So first place in the breeders here goes to 6 Mile Ranch for Mountain. Second place is 2278 Teron Farms at Forestburg, and third is Shiloh Cattle Company. So we have a representative for 6 Mile. So Premier Breeder, Premier Exhibitor, and Herdsman Award goes to 6 Mile Ranch at Fir Mountain, Saskatchewan. Congratulations, everyone from the 6 Mile operation.